Benjamin Bunny, a story about courage, friendship, and a daring rescue mission by two little bunnies. Once upon a time there was a forbidden place, a big garden with a tall fence full of the tasty lettuces and crunchy carrots. No bunny was allowed to go near it. Do you know why? Because the garden belonged to Mr. Gregor, a strict gardener in a big hat who would chase anyone who dared to step onto his land. But yet, one brave little bunny had once sneaked in. His name was Peter. Maybe you remember him from the story of Peter Rabbit. He barely escaped Mr. Gregor, but in the chase he lost his lovely blue jacket and his shoes. Now it's his cousin's turn, clever and curious Benjamin Bunny, and we are going with him into the great garden full of secrets. Under a big fir tree sat Peter Rabbit. Wrapped in a red scarf, he looked, well, rather miserable. His paws were still, his ears drooped, and his eyes were a little sad. And no wonder, not long ago, Mr. Gregor had chased him all over the garden, and Peter lost both his jacket and his shoes. Just then, something rustled in the bushes. It was his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny, cheerful and full of curiosity as always. "Hi, Peter! Why are you sitting here all alone? What's that red scarf you are wearing? Where's your new blue jacket?" Benjamin asked. Peter sighed sadly. "Oh, Benjamin, I lost everything. First one shoe, then the other, then my jacket, and now I'll probably never see them again. Mr. Gregor hung them on the scarecrow as a warning that I must never go back to his garden." Benjamin frowned. That wasn't good. But then a little sparkle lit up his eyes. Peter, listen. The Gregors aren't home today. I saw them leave." Peter just looked down at the ground, still sad. Benjamin saw that Peter needed cheering up. He gently took his paw and said, "Hey, friend, I have a plan. Let's go on a secret mission to Mr. Gregor's garden. We can't just leave your clothes hanging there on the scarecrow. We'll rescue them. Together, we've got this." So off they went, Peter and his cousin Benjamin, on a little adventure. They walked paw in paw, their ears bouncing in the breeze and their whiskers twitching with excitement. They reached the edge of the woods, where an old wall was covered in ivy. They climbed up and peeked over the top. Benjamin's eyes lit up. "Look, Peter! There's your jacket and shoes hanging on the scarecrow, right in the middle of the garden." And indeed, on the straw scarecrow hung the blue jacket with shiny buttons, and below it, one little shoe on each stick. "Yes, those are mine, but I'm never going back there again." But Benjamin already had a plan brewing. "Come on now. I saw Mr. Gregor and his wife leave the house this morning, and Mrs. Gregor was wearing that big fancy hat, the one she only wears when they are going out for hours. We have got plenty of time to grab your things." Then Benjamin pointed to a pear tree growing right beside the wall. "We'll get in that way. No crawling under gates. That pear tree is like a staircase for smart little bunnies." Benjamin hopped down with ease, and whoosh, he was already on the tree. Peter followed, a bit unsure, and whoops! His paw slipped and he landed headfirst. But luckily, he fell into a soft, freshly turned garden bed full of lettuce. Peter sighed in relief. Wow! At least it was soft. And just like that, our little bunnies were inside Mr. Gregor's garden. All around them were the smells of lettuce, peas, and carrots, and everything was quiet, too quiet. The bunnies crouched low, ears alert, and stepped forward into the silence, into the adventure. "This way, Peter!" whispered Benjamin, pointing toward the scarecrow. Peter hesitated. His ears drooped, and he looked at his clothes with a bit of shame and sadness in his eyes. But Benjamin gently patted his back and said, "Come on, buddy, let's get them back. Today is the day. No one's stopping us." Peter smiled just a little, and together they climbed up to the scarecrow. Benjamin handed Peter his clothes, and Peter quickly put them on, buttoned the jacket up to his neck, and slipped on his little shoes. And truly, it felt good, dressed again. Peter didn't feel so small or scared. He felt like Peter Rabbit once more. Once Peter had his things back, the two cousins decided to explore the garden a bit longer. But just as they rounded a green bush, they froze. On a stone path by a small fish pond sat a white cat. She stared at a fish, motionless. Her eyes were on the water, but her ears turned. Benjamin whispered, "Careful, Peter! That's her! The one I told you about! Do you think she can smell us?" Peter whispered back as quietly as he could, "If we move even a little, it's bad. I've heard cats are dangerous, and this one knows we are here." The bunnies panicked silently. The cat still stared onto the water, but her ears were alert. She had heard something. Benjamin pointed to a wicker basket someone had left nearby on the grass. "Quick, under the basket!" And the bunnies dashed under it as fast as they could. And then, without warning, the cat sat up and stared right at the basket. The bunnies froze, barely breathing. The cat sniffed the basket, then curled up on the top of it. It looked like she fell asleep. Peter whispered, "Benjamin, do you think she smelled us? What if she catches us?" "Stay calm, Peter. We'll wait until she leaves." Time passed. The cat stayed perfectly still, sleeping. 1 hour, 2, 3. The bunny sat quietly under the basket. Peter whispered, "Benjamin, do you think she'll be here all night?" "I don't know, but we can't move, or she'll catch us." And then, bam! Something crashed nearby. The basket shook. The cat leapt up with a loud meow and dashed across the garden, gone in a flash. The bunnies were stunned, and then they heard a deep voice. "Well now, that was a very foolish idea, Benjamin. And Peter, you again, oh dear." It was Benjamin's father, Mr. Bunny, a big, strong rabbit with long ears and messy whiskers. He always knew how to handle any problem, even a sleepy garden cat and 2 mischievous little rabbits who kept getting into trouble. He looked stern, but underneath all that fur was a kind heart. When he saw Benjamin and Peter, a twinkle of understanding appeared in his eyes. After all, he too had once been a small bunny with a few adventures of his own. Benjamin started to explain that we just wanted to get Peter's jacket. "And shoes," added Peter. "Oh, boys, your adventures. Come now, let's go home. Good thing I was passing by." With one swift move, Mr. Bunny picked them both up, Benjamin in one arm, Peter in the other. And that evening, as the forest grew quiet and the little lights in rabbit homes went out, 2 small bunnies lay in bed thinking about the adventure they had had. Peter and Benjamin showed us that when we help each other, even the biggest troubles can turn into small adventures. A garden full of traps, a sleepy cat on a basket. Everything can be overcome as long as we are not alone. And when you are feeling sad or scared, or when something doesn't go quite right, remember this: there's always room in your heart for a friend. Because with a friend by your side, every day shines a little brighter, and even an ordinary adventure can turn into an unforgettable story. Now close your eyes and let yourself drift into the land of the sweetest dreams. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me and Benjamin Bunny. Thanks to you, another tiny star just lit up in the sky tonight. In my story pack, a new bedtime story is already waiting just for you tomorrow. I can't wait to share it with you. Good night from your friend, Panda Millie.